Hi BookTube, it's Amy. So I have here a magazine that I found in an antique shop, an antique market last week. This is the August 1905 volume of New Ideas Women's Magazine. And I wasn't sure what I was going to find in it. It was wrapped in a plastic sleeve, so I bought it for $10, sort of sight unseen, knowing that whatever was inside was going to be interesting. And I was pleasantly surprised to realize that there is a poem and a short story by L.M. Montgomery in here, the author of Anne of Green Gables and a number of other well-known Canadian novels. So let's take a closer look. We have a stamp from a general merchant store in Tavistock, Ontario. Presumably that's where it was originally sold back in August of 1905. It was 5 cents a copy. But this was an American magazine, as you can see down here, New Idea Publishing Company, 636 to 638 Broadway, New York, and we can see that it was registered or entered at the post office at New York as second-class matter. And although it was 5 cents a copy, apparently you could subscribe for 50 cents per year. It's in a little bit rough shape, as you would expect for something of this age. It looks like at some point, fairly recently, because there's no rust, someone has, possibly the seller, has restapled the inner part of the magazine together, which fills me with a bit of trepidation, because those staples are very likely to rust. We can see that some tape was removed at some point. There's still a little bit of it here. Tape just gets very brittle, dries out. Not a big fan of these staples that have been put in here recently, because those will rust in about 10 years. 10, 20 years, those will be rusty. So I might actually pull those out and just stick all this in a folder or something. But we have this kind of humorous, I don't quite understand this, this humorous advertisement here. Buster Brown says, "Say, if you ask your ma to send me your dealer's name and 25 cents for a sample pair of my stockings, Buster Brown stockings for boys and girls and their ma's. Fast black or money back, will wear, won't tear. I'll tell you what I'll do." And then they go on to say that they'll send you some stockings and 3 months of their magazine for free. But moving on from the advertisement. Beautifully illustrated magazine. Lots of interesting fashion throughout here. Lawn party frocks, this says. And we've got some wonderful historical dresses and costumes and outfits for sale here. I'll just flip through slowly here. Someone has written the name Ermengarde here. Seems to be a child. We have a poem here, Summer Idyll by Harriet H. Tooker. And the table of contents is actually in the back of this magazine, which I think was sort of the style at this time. There's an article in here that I had read about women, American women at work and play, and it does sort of come across as an advertisement for this Manhattan trade school and things of the like. Women taking typing classes at night, a reading room at the Working Girls Club. And then it highlights a woman carpenter here, a woman who was in the oil business, a woman who was an electrical engineer. So when they said New Ideas Women's Magazine, they certainly were talking about new ideas. Then there's some fiction throughout here. This one is The Picture of a Ghost by Helen Merrill Hodgson. And I skimmed the fiction. Not really my cup of tea, so to speak. A little bit melodramatic, some of these stories. But here's the poem by L.M. Montgomery, The Wind of a Day. In the fresh, sweet hours of the morning, I have drained a wild rose cup, and roved where the buttercups golden their votive lamps hold up. I have shaken the dew in the meadows from the clover's pale-hued gowns, and tossed on a sunlit upland the daisy's silver crowns. I have waked the sleeping music of shadowy woodland dells, and chimed with the elfin rhythm of fairy foxglove bells. I have blown in the aisles of the forest, where no other murmur stirs, and ruffled the placid mirror of a spring 'neath the brooding firs. The best of the joy and the sweetness in the world has been mine today. I have sipped the wine of the summer on hills where the poppies sway. And now, when the heart of the sunset is gladdening adown the west, in a valley that cradles the twilight, I fold my wings and rest. And that's the poem there. Notes from Summer Camp, Where Jack London Woos the Wild by Alice Chittenden, the poet of the camp. The Olfactory Fad by John Carmichael. There's another short story in here. Sunsets by Althea Ward. And The Murmur by Lee Gordon Glittner. Another short story there. What I Saw This Morning, a poem by Gabrielle Stephen Sharp. And then an interesting article in here titled Good Books and Writers, The Use of Poetry by Mary Eastwood Nevels. And I might return to this if there's interest and read the article. It's sort of a essay or treatise on, why read poetry, why read the classics. And there is a suggestion here for books to help form your home library as an educated woman. Then there's another story in here by G. M.L. Brown, The Storm Signal That Brought a Calm. Another poem, something called A Platonic Friendship, which I think turns out to be anything but platonic. I think it turns into a bit of a romance here. Another number of poems and short stories. There's an elephant there. And here is the story by L.M. Montgomery titled A Butterfly Queen, which I quite enjoyed. It's a story for children about a young girl in the garden who saves a butterfly from her brother, who likes to capture and chloroform these butterflies and kill them and pin their wings to his collection. But she decides to save this massive butterfly, and she, through her act of goodness, ends up getting a glimpse of the fairy realm. And it's just a short little thing, but there's some beautiful, beautiful illustrations in this magazine here. So that's the L.M. Montgomery. Then there's an article here on the trend of dressy separate blouses. The author tells us that those in the know in fashion kept telling us that the end of the separate blouse was near. But she says, we keep seeing these separate blouses, a blouse being a top that's not attached or matches a skirt. And they're not going away anytime soon. They are still the trend, and they will last. An article in here on the fashions of London. The correct dress for men and going to the races in London. And some ideas, the latest new idea patterns. Different outfits. Ladies' jackets, boys' suits, ladies' blouses, skirts and dresses, ladies' 13 gourd skirt. All sorts of aprons and bits of fashion in here. There's some advice on here in this section by A.L. Gorman on some of the stumbling blocks or difficulties a woman might face in her sewing. Sponging, cutting out, puckering seams, and how to overcome them. An article in here on hats and how to make them. Long gone is the day when we make or trim our own hats. Ideas for needlework. There's a centerpiece with maple leaves, a couple of table linens here, knitted bath mittens, crocheted bath slippers, washcloth with basket work center, bath towels. In an era when many women would have made, or at the very least, finished off with designs, the linens for their own homes, rather than purchasing something ready-made. Lace fascinator, piano scarf, and tie-ends. There we go, back in focus. Renaissance scarf for upright piano. And my favorite here, the parasol, the pongy parasols, I guess. Another fad, which has just reached us from across the Atlantic, is pongy parasols. They are eminently practical, for they can be used as umbrellas as well as parasols, and are both pretty and durable. The frame of the parasol is covered with coarse pongee, fast colors, which is trimmed with 3 deep ruffles of pongee, hand scalloped and embroidered in silk of the same shade as the pongee. The embroidery may be as simple or as elaborate as the purchaser may desire. Very pretty designs being merely in large dots. And this is Society Fads. Two-toned canvas bathing suits. Can you imagine wearing such a thing to the beach today? A novel wedding present where it is told that a woman designed a card table as a wedding present for a friend. Let's see, what does it say here? It is a card table made of light-colored wood and covered with light pink satin brocade, with 4 chairs of the same wood and covered with the same material. The giver of this present bought these chairs and table and covered them herself. In the table was a small drawer which contained 2 bridge whisk pads in cases made of the same brocade, and 4 packs of cards, also in pink brocade cases. This present was highly appreciated and something entirely new to copy. Although I would think you would want to check with the person you're gifting before you gift them a pink brocade card table. Because what if someone else has the same idea and also gifts them a card table? Really, a person can probably only use 1 or 2 card tables at a time, depending on how they're entertaining. Then we have a section on good housekeeping, frozen desserts for hot weather, where surprisingly for me, pineapple was the greatest trend here in this issue. All sorts of frozen fruits and ice creams and whipped cream. And there's several recipes in here that make use of fresh pineapple or canned pineapple. A advertisement in here for the National Biscuit Company, social tea, graham crackers. An advertisement in here for cream of wheat, a cereal that my dad still enjoys to this day. I don't know what the branding looks like. I think it's quite changed since 1905. 3 ways of serving frozen desserts. Ice cream croquettes. Looks delicious to me. An ad for scissors here. Braided wire bust forms. Improve the figure and support your bust. Cool and sanitary. Braided wire pompadour rolls. Light and cleanly. Can't injure the hair. The Empire braided wire bustle for 25 cents. U.S. infallible metal polish for polishing gold, silver, plated ware, nickel, tin, brass, copper, etc. Works quick and easy. Yeah, here we go. Pineapple dainties. An entire article here on different pineapple recipes. Pineapple shortcake, transparent pineapple, West Indian puffs, pineapple sherbet, pineapple charlotte, pineapple orangeade. And then refreshing summer drinks. There is a recipe here for iced tea, which, quite simple. Make the tea extra strong and set it away to cool. Just before serving, fill slender glasses with chipped ice and pour over it the tea. If liked, a tablespoonful of sugar and a slice of lemon may be added. Iced coffee served with sugar but without cream is equally refreshing. And I think they'd be surprised to know that it's quite common to serve the iced coffee with cream nowadays. Pineapple lemonade, cranberry cup, fruit punch, orangeade, cherry cup. All sorts of delicious sounding recipes. Japalac flooring, which I think is some sort of floor finish for softwood floors. The draw being that you can do it yourself. As a woman, you can finish your own floors. You don't need to hire a professional to come in and do your floor for you. But then below that we have freckles removed. Stillman's freckle cream, which probably didn't do a thing. Might have gave you a horrible skin condition or cancer, depending on what it was, but I guess freckles were out and considered not pretty at the time. A page in a memory book. Suit skirts and jackets, made to order in 1 week at 1/5 reduction from former prices. And an article in the back here on raising your children. What to do when your children are lying to you. Toilet powder for prickly heat, chafing, and sunburn. Handy hat fasteners, electric luster starch. La Blanche face powder. Pearline. Think of the damage bar soap and washboard do in a single wash. Then remember that Pearline cleanses through soaking and perfect rinsing without rubbing. Pearline saves colors and fabrics. And this one, special offers in hair. They will quite literally sell you a piece of hair or a full wig matching to your hair if it's a common color. Then there is a column in here on advice for nourishment after the weaning of your child. Hosiery. Skirt and waist holder. Glasscock's baby walker. A device that was banned here in Canada decades ago. Not only for safety reasons, but for just generally being bad for physical development of the baby. But here they are saying that it is good for development and will actually straighten legs and assist with a strong flat back. Although I think modern knowledge would tell us that it can actually hinder the strengthening of their muscles because the device is holding them up rather than the child strengthening their muscles and learning to hold themselves up. Never mind the fact that with wheels on the bottom, it's incredibly dangerous anywhere where there could be a flight of stairs or someplace where they could run into something or run off a ledge. So for those reasons, not able to purchase those in Canada. But soft rubber hair curlers. Irish Mail. Junket desserts and ice creams. Hair goods. Perfect fitting wigs. Fay stockings. Everybody's Garden. Autumn flowers and foliage. Common goldenrod. Giant sunflower. Stiff goldenrod. Many-flowered aster. Purple aster. Starry campion, and common yarrow, sometimes known as butterfly weed. Bulky lamps. There are thousands and thousands of lamps that don't work, all for the lack of proper chimney. Goodness, I'm reading this through my phone. All for the lack of proper chimney. Right shape, right length, right size, right glass. Macbeth's chimney, my name is on it, or it isn't a Macbeth. My index explains all these things fully and interestingly tells how to care for lamps. It's free. Let me send it to you. Address. More on late summer gardens. Are you too stout? This corset guaranteed to make you slender. Mail your old corsets. We wash, clean, mend, alter by our new Belgian process. We make them longer, higher, shorter, lower, smaller, or wider as you direct. Boys, do you want a watch? Book notes. 3 books by women novelists. And none of these novels had I ever heard of, so they evidently didn't stand the test of time. Patterns for 10 cents. Sherlock Holmes Laughter and Excitement Game by Parker Brothers. This one obviously isn't manufactured today. The best card game ever devised. From 3 to 8 persons can play at one time. It is characterized with laughter and fun throughout. Our offer: send us 2 subscriptions to this magazine at 50 cents each, and we will send the game to any address. A sunproof complexion through Cosmeo, whatever product that was. Will give you a sunproof complexion, will protect your skin from discomfort and irritation brought on by the hot weather, perhaps an early form of sunscreen. A book full of girls. In spite of the vast output of books which threatens to swamp the newsstand and the library table, and which bids fair to be the mental downfall of readers and writers, the good juvenile story is almost obsolete. It's a nice mix of literary, gardening, homekeeping, child rearing, and fashion sort of articles in here. From Old Japan, the Geisha Girl fan. Read how to get it without cost. And here is our table of contents at the back. Contents for August 1905. Pompanian Massage Cream. Be your own beauty doctor. And then we have the correspondence at the back, which are, letters or notes to the editors of the magazine. Another advertisement for patterns for children's clothes. Styles prophylactic. For baby's sake, send 5 cents. Near nature nipples. For a sample of this nipple, which your baby will like more than others, prevents colic, does not collapse, is easily kept clean, sold in a diamond-shaped box, recommended by doctors and trained nurses, for sale by all druggists. Davidson Rubber Company. Advertisement for wheelchairs with a 30-day free trial. Rubens infant shirt. And they want to know if our subscription soon expires. Egosi. Some sort of morning cereal, crisp and delicious, the highest grade cereal food in the world. Evidently that didn't last up until our day. And we have an advertisement on the back for Colgate's Violet Talc with the only perfect sifter. Your fingers get the benefit. Unfortunately, this probably had asbestos or something in it. I think a lot of those talc powders did turn out to be quite unhealthy for human health.